Hello everyone, myself Bushra Fatma, Assistant Professor, School of Architecture, Galgottias University. Today we will discuss about synopsis, how to write a synopsis, which is comes under your thesis as your thesis will start, so you know how to write a synopsis. The objectives are to aware from heads which is covered under the synopsis to understand how to write a synopsis of your thesis. So, thesis, when you talk about the thesis, the architecture design thesis is an independent design research project on a topic selected and developed by yourself. So, the design thesis is an opportunity for all of you in the BR course to define an individual project with regard to the discipline of architecture. For this, you have to make a synopsis. So we discuss in this lecture what is synopsis and what is the structure of synopsis, what are the heads which we cover in the synopsis. So synopsis is a Greek word that means synopsis, together, sing. So a synopsis is a brief summary or condensed statement giving a general view of the subject selected. As you have to take three projects, or so you have to make a synopsis of that project, that what you have to do. So there is some structure, there is some heads which is comes under your synopsis. So synopsis is a brief description of the content of something. The purpose of a synopsis is to inform a literary agent or publisher of the type of book or dissertation or research paper you are writing in a concise way. So it is that you are in command of your subject matter. If you want your script to be given serious consideration, a good synopsis is a crucial part of your submission. Synopsis contain a lot of things. So the question arises, who writes a synopsis? Maybe an author of novel, play, drama, motion picture, research project, dissertation, thesis, and all. So synopsis is just a brief summary of your project, upcoming thesis. So structure of synopsis, there is some heads which will cover under the synopsis, that is title, introduction, aims and objectives, need and scope of the study, hypothesis, about the project, methodology, limitations, and references. When you will write your project synopsis, you have to cover these all heads, that is title, introduction, and all. So the first one is title. So that title of any research area, any dissertation is very important. So there is some consideration, that is title of research project should be very brief but informative. It is neither too long or too short. So when you select the words of your title with a great care, it should reflect the objective of the study. So title should reflect your objective, neither too short nor too long, but informative, because thousands of people read your title, and by the title your study will reflect. So the title brief but informative, so you should great take care while choosing the title. The second one is introduction. So the introduction, it contain a background of a selection topic. Suppose you choose a project, so you should give a simply brief of that project. That is, what is that project, what is the meaning of that. So it must identify the importance of study, its relevance and applicability of results. It must clearly state the purpose of the study. So in starting of the synopsis, you have to give 4 to 5 lines or one paragraph of an introduction of your project, which see the brief background of your topic, selected topic. Now, need for this study. What is the need of your project? What is the scope of your project? You can say it. So in this heading, you have to cover the need of your project, of your particular area. What is the need of that project? If you choose a school of that project, if you choose a shopping mall in your project, then you have to justify what is the need of that shopping mall, if what is the need of that school in that area. or and all. So the problem being studied should be mentioned in precise and clear term. The problem under study should be relevant to the present scenario, or you should relate the problem relevant to the present scenario. A brief account of its utility at the local or national level has to be discussed. The present status of the problem and the necessity for taking up the study needs to be mentioned, and it also allows the person to formulate the hypothesis by the need and scope. In the scope, you have to define the feasibility of that project. What it is the feasibility of the project, what is the need of that project in that area in present scenario, and in also in future scenario. That is the scope, that is called the feasibility of that project. After the discussing the need and scope of that project, we go to the hypothesis. What is hypothesis? Hypothesis is just like a statement in which you have to write a statement of your research area, of your dissertation, of your thesis, and after that you have to prove that statement. Either it will be right or a wrong. If it will show wrong, then that is called a null hypothesis. So hypothesis is mentioned as a tentative prediction. As I said before, it is just a line or explanation of the relationship between two or more variables. Hypothesis should not be haphazard guess, but should reflect the knowledge, imagination, and experience of the investigator. Hypothesis can be formulated by understanding the problem, reviewing the literature, and considering the other factor. So, in need and scope of the study, you have to write a one paragraph, two paragraph to discuss what is the need of that project and what is the scope of that project. But in hypothesis, you just write a single statement which you have to prove in your dissertation, in your thesis, or in your project. Now comes to the aim. The aim is what you hope to do, your overall intention in the project. These are the statement of intent written in broad terms. Aim set out what you hope to achieve at the end of the project. So when you set your aim, you have to decide what is the theme you will taking, what is the project you have to taking. For example, you choose a school project and you choose a theme of vernacular architecture. So the aim should frame regarding this theme and regarding that project which you have to achieve at the end of the project. And in objectives, basically objectives are the steps which help you to achieving your aim. These are the 2 or 3 or 4 objectives in your thesis. A specific list of tasks needed to accomplish the goals of the projects, and objectives should include the work like create, understand, analyze. Create active words: state, explain, outline, list, describe, and all, which help you fulfill your aim. And the one thing is that in 3 or 4 objectives, you have to show which objective is when achieved. When you will write a report, then you have to justify the achieve of objectives, when your objectives will achieve in your which chapter. There is some criteria that objective should be smart, that is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time constraint. As I said in last slide, it should be measurable. You know when you have to reach your goal. So this show in report will show in report. When you write a report, you describe when your objective will achieve. So it should be specific, measurable, achievable. Don't attempt too much. A less ambitious but completed objective is better than a over ambitious one that you cannot possibly achieve. So when you frame your objective, think that objective should frame which is achievable, realistic. So the objective should be realistic, and the time constraint. So these are the some constraints, that is objective should be smart. Now that is about the project. This is your thesis. So there is some points which show in your project, that is the you have to choose minimum 4 acre area of your project. Either it should be school, housing, shopping mall, and all. And you have to locate your site on a Google map and screenshot that image and paste it on your synopsis. And site should be real site, not hypothetical site, as you have to give proof by local authority. So when you choose your site, make sure it should be minimum 4 acre and the location is nearby location, adds reachable location, and site should be your real site, not hypothetical site. Now comes to the methodology. So in a synopsis, research methodology should be in about 150 to 200 words. You can show a diagram also if you don't want to write in a words. So the research methodology form the core of the research project. The methodology should cover the following aspects: study design, study settings, methods, data collection and analysis. So basically in methodology you have to cover the connection of all the things, like first you frame the objective, you frame the aim, then you collect the data, then the analysis of the data, then you find out the issue, then you have to give the proposals. So these all the things are linked together. So either you should write in a words or you should write in a chart form. That is the methodology of your dissertation, your thesis, your project. The next one is limitations. So the limitation of the study are those characteristics of design or methodology that impact or influence the interpretation of the findings from your research. For example, you take a very vast project, then you have to limit yourself. You have to limit that you have to work in that particular area. So when you choose a very vast project, you should limit yourselves. And the last one is references. To show that your work is not plagiarized, the all references quoted in a review of a literature and anywhere else in synopsis should be listed here. So either you choose a APA style or you choose a Harvard style to write your references. This is when you write a research paper, when you write a dissertation, when you write a report, you show that your report is written by you. It is not plagiarized, not copy of other work. So you write the references in the end of your report. Further, in next lecture we discuss how to write a report, but these are the structure of your synopsis. These are the heads of your test synopsis which you cover in your synopsis. Here is one video in which we will show how to write the references in Harvard style. For this thing, you just have to open your Word, MS Word, and write anything on your page. After you open the file, for example, you write my name is this and all. So you can see here is a various tab: home, insert, design, layout, reference, mailing, review, view. For the referencing, you have to go on a references tab. You can see this tab in above toolbar, but references. When you click on the references, you go to the insert citation. After this, that there is a various details you have to fill, like author name, name of the web page, URL, year access, day access and all. But you have to write above all these the type of source. Type of source means it's article, book, report, PDF, URL and all. For example, you take a book for your referencing. So select the book of your references, then write the author of that book. After that, write the title of that book which is related to your reference. After the title of your book, you have to write the which city, who is the publisher, what is the year, and edition, maybe it's first edition, second edition, third edition, fourth edition. So when you take book and write all the things, all the details of that book for your references. For example, you write 2018 year and the edition is first, then okay. After this, these are the referenced. You can see there is some references show in your Word tab. Just clicking the insert caption, insert citation, you can see in your right side these are the references in your Harvard style. After this, You can change your type of source. For example, uh, you was just take a book, you can also take a report, PDF, URL, and all the things. For this, again, you have to go to the references. After the you have to go to the references. For example, you have just write a one thing, one sentence, one intro and all. Then you have to go to the references. Then you have to insert citation. Then after that you change the book into other things like book chapter, yeah, PDF, yeah, URL, yeah, or then after that fill the all the details, then reference the that thing. So these are the references of this lecture. So in conclusion, we can say synopses are useful summaries that are written for the benefit of a potential of a reader or audience. It gives an overview and sneak peek at a work, which lets them choose things that are interesting or useful to them personally or professionally. So you can see the all the structure of synopsis. You can see the heads of your synopsis. When you start writing the synopsis, you should take care of that structure. You should take care of that heads. And starting the synopsis, firstly you decide your title, then introduction, then all. So write your synopsis carefully. This is your assignment question, that is submit 3 synopses of your interests with proper structure and references. For this, first select your project, which project you want to take, then decide the theme. After this deciding the theme, you have to frame your aim, objective, methodology, references and all. So follow the proper structure of synopsis. The heads which discussed in earlier slides, you follow all these heads for synopsis. So you have to submit 3 synopses of your interest before the deadline. Thank you.